Alright, quick example of the Comma AI. I'm currently on a road that would not be mapped if I were using traditional Driver Plus. I'm in a 2024, so a Generation 1 Rivian R1S. So the way that this thing works here, you see it's hooked up. You've got two power cords going in, or two USB-Cs going in. The first one being kind of the main power supply and the Comma AI device, and then the secondary one being the additional harness for longitudinal support. So both of those are hooked up. I'm not going to go through the installation process. Got a little bit of PTSD from that personally. Overall, it's easy once you get that first clip in, but you'll see how this works here. Again, I'm currently on Route 111 in New Hampshire. This is not a mapped road. The way this will operate is very similar to traditional Driver Plus, except instead of hitting it down twice for the Driver Plus feature, you hit it down once as if you were doing cruise control. You can see, or maybe you can't see from the device up there, that it is showing the green lines, so that it does see this yellow line on this side as well as the white line on that side. I'm currently hands-free. Both my hands are currently off the wheel. So this is essentially similar to what the Generation 2s have with their universal hands-free system. You can see it works well here. One additional feature that I have because of the upgraded support is if I shut off the cruise control, steering is still engaged, but I'm controlling the throttle and brake, allowing myself to mostly just cruise using regenerative braking like I would typically, but without my hands on the wheel. This is called MADS. I forget what it exactly stands for. You can see the wheel turned itself to stay kind of aligned with the car in front of it, and now it is straightening itself out to get better aligned with the lines. Now I'm going to go ahead and re-engage. So just like traditional cruise control, you would still use the buttons here to control your increase in speed. You can see that it also reads the set speed on the screen up there as you change it and as you spin the wheel, which is traditionally your follow distance. It also changes the driving personalities from relaxed to standard to aggressive. But with the additional harness that's in there, it does tap into my blind spot monitoring as well as the radars. So my follow distance is still being controlled by the Rivian hardware itself, whereas this is controlling my steering and acceleration, as well as slowing down. I unfortunately did not capture it on camera, but the vehicle that was in front of me did just brake very hard and pull to the breakdown lane. The car handled that very well. I never touched the brakes myself. You can see here that it has identified that there is a red light. I'm not touching any pedals, but it is braking for the red light. It's a little herky-jerky, and I wouldn't necessarily trust it in all instances, but just using this as an example that unlike where the Rivian Gen 2s are right now, this will actually stop for red lights. Now it's green. I did not touch the accelerator. It is gone on its own. I don't know if I'll be able to show you because I'm going to be on this 111 from here all the way to the Rivian Service Center in Hudson, New Hampshire, and it's mostly a one lane. But with this device, if I were to put my blinker on right now, it will switch lanes without my input. I've currently got the system set to a half-second delay. So once I put my blinker on, half-second goes by, it will move over. One thing that I do notice is sometimes it doesn't shut the blinker off like it would when you switch lanes typically. But overall, I'm very impressed with how this works. Definitely extends the life of my Generation 1 Rivian. I would not upgrade to a Generation 2, primarily because I don't want to eat the depreciation on this one. Plus, this one is in perfect condition, so why would I do that? I'm speeding up to get through that yellow. It did not speed up. That was me. But that was a situation where I don't think I would have trusted it to have stopped for the necessary red light, as we were going at a pretty good clip. And as that model learns more, and with the community support, I suspect these features will get better. But this is beyond what I wanted. I don't need full self-driving. Put in a destination and let the car take me there. I couldn't care less, especially where full self-driving is today, with you still needing to be in the driver's seat. But Generation 1, as most of you know, was left behind for Generation 2, and was very overpromised and under-delivered on the features in which it could do. And it, in my opinion, for the price tag on this car specifically, it is one of the worst cruise control situations of any vehicle at any price point. Not having lane centering on roads like this was pretty annoying to me. So I'm super happy with this. Slightly expensive addition to have to make, but still better than eating the depreciation and upgrading to either another R1 or downgrading to a Gen 2. I'm hitting the brake just because, again, this is cross traffic. And it may have actually stopped for that red light. It was slowing down, but we were going a little quick. I just did not trust it. Whereas this one I will, because there's a car in front of us, so it is seeing that car rather than just relying on the color of the light. a little aggressive with the slowdown. Gave us plenty of space between that car just to roll up. I think that could have been slightly smoother in how that's applied. But again, when you're in this type of stop and go, I would typically prefer to engage the MADs again with the flick up on the stock, so that I'm controlling the acceleration. But I can show a lane change right here, so I'm going to put my blinker on. I've made the lane change. I did not touch anything, but again, my blinker did not turn off, so I manually turned that off. And now we'll do it again going the other way. Again, blinker did not turn off. We're going to increase our speed. But overall, this is very impressive. It is watching to ensure that I'm paying attention on the road. That's what this camera here is. But even when the system's not engaged, if I am looking at my phone to select different music or something, it will yell at me and tell me to pay attention, even if I'm not in hands-free mode or engaged in any way. So you can turn that feature off so that it's less annoying, but it just highlights maybe how many times you're not paying attention when you think that you're a driver who does pay attention. As this light turns green, you'll hear it chime. That was telling me that it's time to go. So it does a very good job in recognizing the lights. Alright, I think at this point you guys get the idea. Overall pretty happy with this. Like I said, all in all, it's slightly expensive. The device itself is $1,000. You can sometimes find deals through like PayPal or stuff where there's discounts for using their services, so you can get it for less than that sometimes, but the list price on these is $1,000. It might be worth looking in the used market for the larger previous version, which was the AI 3X. Some users may be selling theirs if they changed over to the 4 like I have, so you may be able to get one at a discounted rate that way as well. Works on a bunch of different cars, not just Rivians. So that piece was $1,000. As I said, I also ordered the additional harness for those additional control features. That harness comes from Germany. There was a large import tariff impact on that device, or on that harness. So in addition to that being whatever that was, $300-400, there was like a 30-40% tariff at the time. So just be aware of that before you order it. If you're going to get one of these, maybe start with just the comma and go from there and see if you want the additional features. For me, I just went all in, all at once. So hopefully this gives you an idea of how well this thing works. Have a good one.